Welcome to the Export Expert series powered by ShipGlobal. Today we are honored and happy to host a very special guest, Dr. Ajay Sahai. He is the Director General and CEO of FIEO, the Federation of Indian Export Organization. Dr. Sahai is a veteran in international export and have been helping Indian entrepreneurs to go global. Dr. Sahai, thank you so much for joining us in this exclusive series. So you have been an integral part of Indian government from past 30 plus years. What do you think you have played an evolving role in FIEO particularly?
In fact, in FIEO, our idea is to bring new entrepreneurs in the field of exports. The kind of target which the government of India is putting for the export, that means to reach $2 trillion by 2030. We are of the view that probably that will not be possible with the existing player. We also feel that the new entrepreneurs who are joining in the field of exports should first come on an online platform and test the market. Over a period of time, when they get the exposure, they can look for the conventional mode of export, and probably that strategy has been extremely successful. Because if you are on an e-commerce platform and over a period of time you realize that 60% of my customers are from the US, you can very well safely conclude that for the conventional exports, I have to put my focus in US. So I think that's the idea which we are looking into. Secondly, we are also looking into providing an ecosystem for the e-commerce exports. Though we are saying that e-commerce is the thrust area, but if you look into the conventional export, the kind of support which are available for the conventional exports, they are not available to the e-commerce exports. Some of them remains on paper, some of them are not on the papers also. A lot of e-commerce exporter is still struggling to get the concessional credit or preferential credit. Though the central bank says that it is available, but it is not happening. Our idea is to work closely with the government, take the feedback from the entrepreneurs, and then flag it to the government with a view to address that. The good thing is that government is quite sensitive. They are also looking into various initiatives, because some of the government initiative also like GI product, one district, one product, and the district as export hub can also yield result in a very short time if you supplement them on e-commerce platform, because those players, if they go for the conventional exports, they will have a lead time of 4 to 5 years. Probably in the e-commerce, you can show result within 6 months time. So all these are helping the export sector, and probably we want to work more closely to the government so that we make the entire e-commerce shipment seamless in the country.
So like you said about one district, one production. So there have been a sort of tradition in traditional exporters or manufacturers for that particular matter. How Indian government is pulling them out so that they can explore global market that is still unexplored, because there have been rise in Indian exporters and people like even outside India, they love Indian handicrafts, jewelry, gems. So how Indian government is pulling them out to go global?
In fact, part of that is explained by the situation in which the India is. Look at the demographic profile of the India. We are now a very young country. New entrepreneurs are joining. We have some of the flagship programs, the government of India, like Make India, Startups India, which is attracting new talents in various fields. We also have the advantage of digital penetration. We are one of the most digitized country, and probably these factors are helping the sector. Of late, there is also realization amongst the Indian manufacturer that probably if they have to achieve the scale or they want to de-risk themselves, they have to go for exports. At times, domestic market may be challenging, and probably that's a lesson which they have learned during the COVID also. And the full resilience to the Indian industry, because very quickly looking into the global demand, they accordingly modified their manufacturing and they started catering to that demand. So I will say that some of the economic fundamentals of the country, the way they are evolving, will help the e-commerce exports, but more so the initiative that the government is taking.
So like you said, Indian government is trying to achieve the 2 trillion by 2030, especially in export. And recently Piyush Goyal said that there needs to be a collective effort so that we can go into that direction. So what would you suggest to the shipping partners, different like ShipGlobal itself, how we can pull those traditional people so that we can target that under that particular mission?
In
And-
fact, if you look into India's exports of $2 trillion, I am pretty confident that we will move towards that goal. That's
Yes.
not a problem.
Mhm.
My problem is that probably the technology-driven sectors and knowledge-driven sectors will contribute a lot to reach us to that level.
Mhm.
The biggest worry for us is the labor-intensive sectors of exports,
Yes.
because these sectors are important for me for two reasons. A, they create huge amount of jobs into the country, and B, the net value addition in these segments are pretty high. If I'm exporting, let us say, electronics products of $1 million, my net value addition may be $100,000. But if I'm exporting, let us say, apparel of $1 million, my net value addition is $900,000. So from that perspective, we want that we have to push more of these employment intensive sectors.
For more information, visit shipglobal.in.